Hey everyone, how are we doing? My name is Tim Pongares and this is Focus on Detailing. Today's video is all about working on melted transparent sand. Glass is at times very painful to work on. It's usually one of the final steps involved with detailing and can make or break the end results with how it's completed. I'm not going to be focusing too much on interior glass cleaning, although that is included, more so about the outside, getting it looking as good as we can through proper preparation and protection. I'm going to be going over cleaning, decontaminating, polishing, cleaning again, and ceramic coating, so we get that crystal clear glass looking that way for as long as possible. Now, rather than working on glass that's already clean, I've got a better example in mind.
What I've got with me is the new Daily. Probably should have a better name for it by now, but we'll get there. It's all about the glass today, but the entire car was in need of a bath. Rather than just cleaning the glass, I thought a quick wash was deserved and actually is easier as a whole, rather than isolating a particular spot to detail. There's a few things that could have been done to this car first, like a paint correction, before working on the glass. But this is the Daily, and there's no order here, purely demonstrations. Once it's cleaned like this today though, it'll be easier to keep it that way. A strip wash was up first. This completely coated the car, and with the help of the APC that was added within the soap mixture, aided in a further, deeper clean without the need of even touching the car. But that was soon to change, as now is a perfect time while the soap is dwelling to clean around the window seals, rubber and cowl. Cleaning glass is one thing, but don't ignore what's directly around it, as that can certainly make or break the overall look. Orange or brown plastics and rubber can be easily fixed by a thorough cleaning with a brush and APC. Once completed this process, it was all rinsed off from top to bottom, ready for the 2-bucket wash. This is pretty straightforward, but was necessary and certainly is a preferred option rather than just spraying down the glass with a cleaner. It's good now to also clean the wipers, and first of all, make sure they're in good condition, as there's no use having a clean windscreen if the rubber wiping across it is old and or grubby. Keeping the car wet after having all of this rinsed off, it was now time to focus all in on the glass. Using the same mitt, I wiped across a selected area, grabbed a clay bar that had been molded and prepped, then worked in straight motions. The soap helped to lubricate the glass so the clay wasn't grabbing, but still had the ability to allow for a deeper clean, potentially removing more bonded contaminants. Sometimes the surface can feel grippy and or scratchy, especially if there's overspray marks and whatnot, so pay attention to those particular spots until it feels smooth underneath. Nothing but slickness under your hand as the bar glides across. Avoid hitting the rubber, as it will leave marks on the clay bar, and although not the end of the world, it can make it difficult when you go to use it next time, as you won't be able to see the filth you're removing from the surface as clearly. This job is unlikely to remove water spots, but that's what the next stage is for. Pulling the car under cover, I then taped off the rubber and plastics so they were safe from any product hitting them and potentially marking them. What I'll be using for this step is Shine Supply's glass polish, along with 1 applicator pad and 2 microfiber towels, 1 damp and 1 dry. Pouring a small amount onto a pad, I then worked over the glass with moderate pressure and circular motions. This part is where we'd likely be removing water spots, etching, and light scratches, improving the look of the glass, adding more clarity, and surprisingly changing the feel, which I found happened only after a few passes. Working in sections of the glass, quarters for the windscreen, I wiped all the excess off with a damp towel, then buffed to an immaculate finish with a separate dry towel. Yes, this surface is hard to buff when it's been polished. It's quite grippy with a towel, and I can only assume this is due to a lot of, what would you say, impurities being removed. This was done for every bit, paying particular attention to the edges, as that's usually where those water spots hide. You can use a polisher for this and it would save your arm. If you were going to, they do have specific pads that are really flat to allow for maximum transfer from the machine to the surface. The glass can take it, as it's a much harder surface and would obviously help get the job done faster, but Shine Supply's glass polish was working just fine like this. Once this stage was completed and I was happy with the results, I took off the tape and gave the glass a final wipe down with Auto-Raz Focus on Glass to remove any residue, leaving behind an immaculate finish, ready for the protective layer. I decided to go with NV Glass, a coating obviously dedicated for glass coating applications. We put in the hard work and now we want to lock in that goodness and repel the damage and or filth from coming back. I laid the suede microfiber over the block, then poured a line down the center. I then wiped it in overlapping straight motions on the glass, making sure for even and complete coverage. After waiting a few minutes, I buffed it off with one towel, then used another to wipe and level any excess. Pretty straightforward, as this process was done for the rest. Once this was completed, it's a good time to clean the inside of the glass. Not a favourite job, but now we know if there's going to be any marks that can be removed, they'll hopefully be just on the inside. Avoid spraying directly on the glass, rather in the towel first, then wipe over everything thoroughly, turning it over when necessary. There is no cheat sheet with glass cleaning. I believe it's just good to have a few very clean, quality dedicated glass cleaning towels, which are usually low pile, along with a great glass cleaner. It's not uncommon to have to go over a particular spot a few times. Now's a good time to also do some trim restoration, but if I keep this up, the video is just going to keep going and going. This was the end result, so after waiting 24 hours, I gave it the old water test, which I'm sure everyone is keen on seeing. The pressure washer gave a better example as to how the water would react if the car was at speed, and there's certainly a vast difference from how I started. The hose with a simple attachment gave the same results. It was really good. The water wanted nothing to do with that surface. This is going to help on those rainy days with visibility. Sometimes you won't even need to use those wipers. NV glass is stated to last around a year, but obviously this will depend on a few things, like where the car is kept, the climate where you live, and when it's used. It can prevent contaminants from sticking and also makes for much easier cleaning. I was really impressed with Shine Supply's glass polish. It did a fantastic job of tidying up the surface and is also handy as it can be used to polish up chrome too. So that's it for this. The glass is clean, protected and looking 110% better. Thank you all for watching and don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to follow me on the socials to keep an eye out on my work and I'll catch you all later.